everybody. Welcome to the Stock Car Spectacle. I'm Ian Jortson.
I'm Mike Gamble.
I'm Nick Kinsel.
And we got a very special guest today. Dakota, why don't you introduce yourself, buddy?
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Dakota Rutledge, a.k.a. NASCAR Baby, and I'm enjoying being on the show with these boys.
Yeah, and you just came back from a pretty big trip the other day. Where'd you go, man?
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't know, Talladega happened Sunday and Monday, I guess, and I got to go. I got to be lucky enough to go back to the racetrack, and it was absolutely amazing.
One of 5,000 fans, man. I am jealous.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. And for those watching at home, Dakota was nice enough to send us videos during the race on Snapchat, even called us on FaceTime to let us watch from his point of view for a lap or so. It was really cool to see. So with only being 5,000 people there, we thought it'd be awesome to get somebody who was there's perspective on the race.
Heck yeah. I don't know how many people look like on TV or how many. I'm sure it was Michigan. Y'all got to go to some Monday rainout races.
Yeah.
But Sunday, it was absolutely packed. Like, you think, like, oh, 5,000 people, there's nobody there. Well, put 5,000 people in a parking lot and see how many people were there. I mean, it was like a regular race almost in this little bit of section. I'm like, this is packed. There's a lot of people here. But Monday, I'd probably say there was probably 600 people there. I mean, there's still people there, but people got to work. People are hard to come back on Monday.
Yeah.
There's coronavirus, but there were still a lot of people there for Monday, even more than I've seen at other Monday rainout races.
Yeah, that's good. That's just good to see people in the stands. I don't care if there's 600 or 5 people. As long as there's people in the stands watching some racing live, you got to love it.
That's how me and my buddies were. We were like, oh, man, because it looked like it was going to rain all day. The radar kept saying storms all over the track, and we were like, man, I don't know if it's worth it. And we were like I told you on the group message, I was like, would I rather be sitting at a rainy racetrack, looking at a racetrack, or would I rather be at work and end up watching the race on TV? And I was like, let's risk it. Let's go out there, screw it. And we got to see a whole race.
There you go.
Yeah, it worked out, man.
And you saw a thriller.
Oh, yeah. I mean, not only that, it was an amazing race.
Oh, yeah. All right, guys, so let's get into our diecast of the week. Dakota, what'd you bring for us, buddy?
Oh, well, this was a little birthday present to myself that I couldn't tell the old lady because she hates when these things show up on the doorstep. But I got this little banger off eBay, 2016 Las Vegas race version. Tons of character on this bad boy. This is one of my crown jewels I've been wanting to get off the Kevin win list. They're getting too many to count. But this is a jewel I've been wanting for a minute, and I figured I'd bring it on the show.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the damage. That's sick.
Dude, it's so badass.
What a beauty. All right, Nick, what'd you bring for us?
Well, so today I was hanging out with Mike, and I completely forgot to grab a diecast before I came here, but thankfully the gambler's got a lot of diecast in his back pocket. So what I got for you guys today, in light of what everything is going on, I got the 2015 Bubba Wallace. It's an Advocare Ford car from when he drove for Roush in the Xfinity Series. You think of Advocare, you think of Trevor Bayne. And so it's kind of interesting because he was really the only one to run it. But then Bubba just pulls this one out for a one-off deal. And yeah, just brought this one out because of everything that's going on and everything that we heard about today. But I still stand with Bubba 100%.
Absolutely.
All right. Very nice, man. All right, Mike, what you got for us, bud?
All right, as you guys know, my boy got it done on Monday, Ryan Blaney. So if we're going to do a diecast of the week, we got to throw it back to when he got it done here last year in the fall. The Talladega race win autographed version just came in like 2 or 3 days ago.
What's very nice.
I said I had tickets to that race and watched the first stage, and it got rained out, and I had to leave.
I don't remember why it worked out, but for whatever reason, I was already off that next Monday anyway. So it worked out perfect because I just came right back to Ian's and we watched it together, and I loved it.
Me and the old lady were on our anniversary trip every year on that weekend. So part of my trip is we go to Talladega, and then we do whatever the heck she wants to do. So I had hotels at the beach for Sunday night and Monday night. And the race got rained out, and it was like, God dang it. Like, I had the whole week off. I could have stayed, but we had hotels in the beach.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
It was a great race, though.
Yeah, that was an awesome one.
All right, boys. So for my diecast of the week, since we are going to Pocono and it's a coincidence, as you can tell, I'm not in the normal studio. I'm staying at my fiance's house right now, but I brought this one. This is Ryan Blaney's first career win from Pocono. I brought this just because we were going to Pocono, and by coincidence, Ryan Blaney wins Talladega. So, yeah, he led 10 laps of this race.
Second in that race?
That was Kevin Harvick.
Oh, yeah. They raced hard at the end there, too.
Such a good race.
He raced Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch for that win.
That pass on the apron.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, guys. Kyle Busch raced some extreme. You talk about a hard race, and then there's how Kyle Busch raced Ryan Blaney in those final laps at Pocono, driving him down to the apron and everything. But yeah, he gets his first career win racing against two of the best. So
yeah,
you go against two of the best, and he made a name for himself, and quite a beautiful diecast. I'm just glad he got to get Wood Brothers' 99th win with this car.
Oh yeah,
I've never actually seen the diecast. I mean,
really?
Race, but yeah, I've never seen it.
Oh yeah.
Would you believe I actually do not have that one in the collection?
That's surprising.
You're messing up, man.
I waited to pull the trigger on it, and then when I went back to be ready to buy it, like you can't find anywhere for like a normal price.
Yeah.
Even now, you go on there, you can find like the color chromed autograph version for like $200. It's like, for me, for the raced win versions too, I want the most authentic looking version of the actual car.
I'm the same way with diecast, like, because I've seen some color chromes that are okay, but I want if Kevin won in a paint scheme, I want the race version. I don't want the regular scheme.
Same.
But I want the authentic, just as crisp as it can be race version or crisp as it can be paint scheme. I don't want some made up car that didn't run. In my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I do, especially for the race wins, I'll do that. For some of the other stuff, I'll get color chrome because I actually really do like a lot of the color chromes. I think a lot of them do look really well when they're done right. But yeah, anything where it's a raced win version or any raced version, you got to get the original version.
Yeah, you want it to look exactly how it did when it crossed the finish line.
Exactly.
Yep. All right, boys. So let's get into our Talladega review. First off, we got the Xfinity Series race. It was the Unhinged 300, and we had Justin Haley winning the pole from a random drawing. And then on lap 10, we noticed that Justin Haley's antenna was hanging down, and it kind of looked like he had a ceiling fan up in his car there.
Really annoying.
I don't know how he drove with that thing, just flapping him around, and he's like...
Yeah, Adam Alexander, he was like, man, this is really annoying me. I cannot... I just can't fathom what Justin Haley's going through right now.
I would just be acting like a damn cat, just trying to swat at it whenever I can. I got one hand on the wheel, just like, come on.
Like, there was like half a lap before they finally like talked about on like air like what it was. I thought he had a model plane like from the roof of the car for a second. I was like, what is that?
I saw someone tweet, it was like, Fox is getting really crazy with these drone cams.
That's a good one. Yeah. And then it didn't bother him much. He went on to win stage 1. And then we get Chase Briscoe going on to win stage 2. And then we get a caution with 38 to go. Guys, we're talking about him every week now. Riley Herbst getting spun in the tri-oval, collecting Chase Briscoe, and Timmy Hill with an amazing Tokyo Drift move to avoid Riley. That was incredible.
Absolutely. But, Riley Herbst is getting into the Stenhouse kind of category for me where it's like, we're going to be talking about him wrecking almost every weekend. And then when your drivers are running around him, especially in a big spot of the race, like, oh, God, anybody but this guy. Come on, anybody.
I was a victim to that 2 weeks ago. So, yep, I know exactly how it feels, man. I feel like we just checked it off of our weekly checklist, talk about Riley Herbst wrecking, and there you go.
Yeah, right.
It seems like it's just a ticking time bomb. Like, every race, even some races he does okay. Getting up there, it's like, oh, right front flat. Oh, restart wreck. It's like, if there's caution out, that 18 is about to be sideways on that camera.
Right. Oh, yeah. Good buddy Dalton Good pointed something out. He tagged me in a tweet earlier this week, and he said Riley Herbst is pretty much Dylan Kwasniewski. And for anybody who doesn't know, who watches a stock car spectacle, oh man, Dylan Kwasniewski is to me what Joey Logano is to Dalton Good. So me and Mr. Kwasniewski, I've said some things about him.
If you want to piss Nick off, all you have to do is say Dylan's name. He's already the worst.
I already know where you're going. I already know where you're going at with it. So.
Oh my God. All right, guys. So we get a caution with 14 to go in the race. Noah Gragson gets spun by Justin Allgaier in the tri-oval. Allgaier, he gets collected in it with Jones and Timmy Hill and more. And Noah, even though he was the one that had the initial contact, he did not have any damage. So it worked out for him.
How the hell did he spin in front of the pack and just whip it around, saves it? Not a lick on the car. Cars are total damage. Justin Allgaier's wrecked again. I mean, I when he started rolling away and pitting, I was like, wait, you don't have a lick on that car. How the hell did he get through that?
Yep. Dude, I was going through
the sun was shining on Noah Gragson's ass for sure that day. No doubt about it.
I was going through some emotions that day. Like right when he got spun, I was screaming, I was like, no, it's over. And then when I saw his car was going, I was like, yeah, we're still in this. But
see, hey, that's the fun of restrictor plate racing though. Sometimes, like I used to laugh back in the day when him and I were watching Trevor in there together. Which one was the Daytona 500, like 2016 or 2017? This man dodged like 10 wrecks, and every time we'd be like, yeah! Like going nuts. Like, that's like number 7 he's dodged today. Like, that's some of the fun of it for me, man. Like,
absolutely ridiculous.
Very impressive.
Yeah, he looked very fast in this race. Who knows? He might be a new restrictor plate racer. We'll see, because he did very well at Daytona.
Super Speedway.
Who knows?
What were you saying, Dakota?
I said Super Speedway.
Yeah, that's what it said.
We don't have a restrictor plate. Yeah. I call y'all out every time.
Don't run that no more.
We've been called out. This is like the 10th time we've been called out by Dakota this week for
I'm just trying to help y'all out, man. But yeah, man, Haley's a little banger on these speedway races. I mean, I'll admit I think he got robbed at Daytona. This yellow line rule either needs to go or be clear cut because there's too many clips the dude's getting screwed by the yellow line, and he got robbed of that one. But now he can finally put it in the books that he's an Xfinity winner, and I thought it was a badass race.
Yeah.
It's about time. I mean, you can say that Justin Haley is a winner on a restrictor plate race if you want to go back to last year's Cup race. But again, for those who don't watch the show, don't get me started on that race. And then he got robbed of that double line, the double yellow line rule. But
I was also at that race.
College racing.
Oh God.
College racing. When we go to these super speedway tracks, oh my goodness, They just are on a different planet out there. College racing and super speedway racing, you always know they're going to be up front. And kudos to Justin Haley finally getting it done.
Yep, Haley made it work. He won the restart, and he got some help from his colleague teammates Ross Chastain and Allmendinger, help him get his first career Xfinity win. And they had a pretty cool celebration. Justin Haley climbing out the right side, getting a big old hug from Ross, and then had AJ Allmendinger run down pit road and gave Justin Haley a big old hug, and it was just so nice to see those boys celebrate. From
great father-son moment right there.
Justin Haley and Dad celebrating.
How do y'all feel about how Haley said he's racing for a ride? He doesn't know what he's doing next year.
Hey man, yeah.
I mean,
you really don't.
Listen, you think about it. Like I was kind of saying, even at the Cup level, Corey LaJoyce on his podcast late last year, early this year, going into next year, there's maybe only like 8 or 9 guys that had stuff locked up. Now, some guys have locked up some rides and stuff like that since then, but we'll just sort as a dozen. So that means there's 24 rides out there that nobody knows what's going on. I can't imagine the Xfinity Series is any different. I can't imagine that these guys are getting multi-year deals at 20, 21, 22. So if they're, if he doesn't have anything locked up for next year, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, like I said, I think it's the situation for a lot of the guys. I mean, Noah's talked about it too. So,
I mean, look at Chase Briscoe. He said he has to win 10 races if he thinks he's good enough to get into a Cup ride or get another ride next year. So he's putting himself on a big pedestal right there.
Last year was Haley's rookie year in the 11 car, wasn't it? Because Ryan Truex was in it the year before.
Yeah. Last year was Haley's rookie year.
His rookie year last year, and then this year, I could see him doing another, like maybe he earns the stripes, does another year in the 11 car, and give more time for Cup. He could only build his stats and his character, I guess, and experience, and then maybe by the time 2022 rolls around, maybe he'll be ready for a Cup ride.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Cole Custer spent 3 seasons in the Xfinity Series until he felt comfortable moving up.
Yeah, I know we didn't have the Cup race yesterday, but Cole Custer yesterday finally was looking like he knew what he was doing. That boy was wheeling it yesterday. All right, Xfinity.
Which is good because that's the way we like to see Cole Custer. That's the way we remember the Xfinity Series, man. He was an absolute wheel man, so it's nice to see him kind of get back to that. And I think it wouldn't hurt Justin Haley at all to spend a little extra time in the Xfinity Series too. I think again we see these guys get rushed up to the Cup Series fast as ever these days. Some of it, way before people are ready at times. Cue Daniel Suarez on that one, getting thrust up with everything that happened. So I don't think it's the worst thing to spend a little more time than you kind of even want sometimes down at that level just to make sure you're prepared.
Right. Would not hurt. All right, guys, so let's get into the Cup Series race at Talladega. We had the Geico 500. And so right away on Sunday, we had rain postponing the race, and we had to go to Monday. So, Dakota, you had a drive home, that's for sure.
Hey, watch your language, man.
Oh, dude, it was like the most highest of high. Like, hey, boys, we're going to the race. Trucks packed, we're going to the race. And it was weird, like, not bringing camping stuff, not bringing a big packed cooler, just like a couple things. And we got this clear book bag and stuff. And it was like, all right, like, let's go to the race. And all the highs of highs, and then getting to see a racetrack, seeing the cars on pit road. And as soon as we got into like the stands and walked out there, this freaking hurricane of a thunderstorm blows over, and it's seek shelter, lightning, da 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 da. Not only do we have COVID and all this, we're all packed up under the stands with masks on. Like, this is a great idea. And, I mean, it just poured down rain. It stopped. They started drying track, but you could see another storm coming because at Talladega with the stand, it's kind of in the mountains, like the foothills of the Appalachians, but you can see for miles and miles, and you just see the storm coming. And like they're drying the track, and you're just like looking at the radar, like, I don't think this is gonna happen.
No.
Man.
It sucked, dude. Sunday sucked.
Man. Yeah, it sounds like it. And then, guys, Sunday evening, a NASCAR crew member found a rope tied like a noose in the garage. I'm sure everyone's heard this by now. It was found in the 43 team garage. Now, the noose has been found to been there since last October, since the fall race. A Wood Brothers crew member said that he remembers seeing it, and many say it's a rope to pull down the garage door. So, regardless of what it is, there's still an issue in this country, and the unity that we saw on Monday afternoon with every driver, every crew member, and everybody involved in NASCAR that was on pit road walked with Bubba and brought his car to the front of pit road. And even though this was a false alarm, it shows just how much of a family NASCAR really is. I applaud Jimmy Johnson and Kevin Harvick for setting up this beautiful display of unity. I think everyone should feel some relief that Bubba was not targeted for a hate crime, and those that are blaming him for this incident should be ashamed.
Yeah. Ian, I think you hit the nail on the head there. I think the best thing that's come out of this is that we don't have somebody in our garage of our sport that has that much hate in their heart that would do something like that. Obviously, NASCAR jumped the gun a little bit and jumped to some conclusions on some things that obviously weren't what we thought they were, but I also commend them for taking the stand that we're not going to put up with this if that is what it is. Again, like you said, Bubba Wallace didn't set this up. Bubba Wallace wasn't allowed in the garage area. Bubba Wallace found out about it from NASCAR. He had no other prior knowledge of it. Steve Phelps called him. So, yeah, to those people, calling Bubba Smollett or saying he's another Jussie Smollett, get your facts straight because you couldn't be more wrong. But, again, I think the unity that we saw and everything after is one of the best things I've seen in a NASCAR environment in a long time. So for that alone, I'm grateful that, we've gone through what we've gone through.
Yeah, Dakota, what was it like being there, seeing that live, seeing that movement live?
I'm not a real emotional. Like, there's a few things that trigger my emotions and stuff. Some say I'm a dad, some say I'm just, stone cold straight face. But right when we got to the track, we timed it perfect to get there before the race started, or just about 45 minutes before they said the green. And we're walking out, and all of a sudden, like, look at the track, and we look, and it was like right when we got there, they're coming out of the garage, pushing Bubba's car down the lane. And it was like, oh my God, this is what they were talking about. And then I didn't know all the crew members were going to be behind him. And it's literally everybody that makes the sport go was walking in a march down pit road, pushing that 43 car. And I mean, it gave you goosebumps up here. Everybody's cheering and everybody's, I mean, it takes a lot to make me cry, but I was like, man, this is an iconic moment in history and an awesome moment for our sport. Probably the biggest moment of the year right here. And I was like, I'm getting to watch this. So we go down the grandstands. I try to get a couple videos and stuff, but I'm really watching it. Like I'm so lucky I'm here to get to witness this with my own eyes and not even just see videos and clips. And the whole place was, quiet as crap. And one cool thing that happened, it's ghost silent there. And I was like, hell yeah, Bubba. I screamed it and it echoed like hell. And Bubba looked up. And I was, it was so, you could hear a pin drop. And I yelled it and Bubba looked up. And the whole place was just like, yeah. And there was a Bubba chant started. It was just, the whole place was right. Like, another thing to say is like, imagine if there had been 150,000 people there.
Right.
And that, just imagine if we had a full grandstands that moment. That place would have been electric.
Yeah, that was truly a powerful moment for sure.
Oh yeah, I was at work and like I was watching it in the back on my phone, and I was like, man, people are gonna think I'm crying at work right now because I was like. It was extremely powerful, and I applaud everybody who took part in that. It just really shows what the sport is all about.
You could feel it. Yeah. Like I felt like I was on pit road with them. Like the energy from right there, getting to see it was crazy.
Right.
It's just absolutely beautiful to see the kind of family that NASCAR is.
Hell yeah.
All right, boys. So let's get into the Geico 500. We had Martin Truex Jr. winning the pole from a random drawing. And then we get 6 to go in stage 1, and Denny Hamlin, it seemed like because of high winds, he hit the wall hard and he cuts a tire and kind of screwed himself out of that one. But winds were real high that day, so it wasn't good for him. And then, guys, rain comes back and halts racing on lap 57. So, Dakota, what'd you do during that?
So we found this perfect little like corridor where there's like bathrooms in the tower stands and the stairs. And if you stand right there, the wind blows, but you don't get wet. So it feels really nice. But my friends wanted to go get some beers. We made a beer run. We hid out at the rain, and the rain came over it and wet 1 and 2 in the backstretch. But 3 and 4 in the trioval were dry as a bone. Like Storm just clipped the track. So I think it honestly helped us get the whole race in. Because they dried it in like 30 minutes. I was sitting there thinking, oh, this is it. We're about to go home and at least we got to see some racing, we kept saying. Yeah. But hey, they got the track dry so quick. And we were all texting like, man, I don't know. And Dalton was saying, this is over. Go home. Blah, blah. But, they got it done. When they said drivers of cars, I was like, we're about to see them go back racing. And then we're like, well, it's to race to halfway now because rain was everywhere. You could see it raining everywhere. Literally, the seas parted around the track, and we got a whole race in.
Listen, as a Ryan Blaney fan, he was leading, and they're like handful of laps of the halfway. My heart was like, come on, man. Come on. Just pour any second out. If you remember, too, like coming to the halfway point, Bubba was leading that outside line. So it was like right at the halfway lap. It was like Blaney was leading, getting pushed by the Penske crew. And then Bubba was leading that outside line. I think he was 5th. I'm like, how awesome would this be if they just ended it right now? But no, hey, obviously glad we got to see the full race. And yeah, man, I couldn't even imagine what it'd be like there live. I mean, you had to be so bummed for a second, Raina. Like, you got to be kidding me again. Like, I know from, we were talking during the day, you kind of knew what you were kind of getting into anyway. But it's like we finally got going, everything. And like you said, we got a miracle with only having to dry so much of the track, too.
Yeah. And it seems like NASCAR has brought like a ton of jet dryers to the tracks lately. It seems like we have like double than what we normally have.
Dude, they had their A game.
Five out of the 9 races since we've come back have been affected due to rain. So NASCAR ain't messing around here.
And also, it seemed like, I don't know if it has anything to do with the corona or anything, but like they had all hands on deck drying that track as soon as the rain blew out. Like there was an unusual amount of truck dryers, but it was like, we're getting this thing in. I don't care what y'all want to do.
Yeah, no, I think it was a good thing that they brought all those jet dryers. Just, dry that track quick because it's huge. It takes a long time to dry those tracks.
Oh, yeah. It seems like rain just stalks the schedule. Like, oh, yo, Pocono next week. See you Sunday.
Exactly.
Mother Nature hates NASCAR, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
We could race in the middle of the desert and it would fucking storm right now. So
yeah, no kidding. All right, guys, and then we go back to racing, and then Tyler Reddick, he goes on to win stage 1 under caution. So first career stage win for Reddick. He has been fast the past 2 weeks, guys. I think he is definitely going to get a win this rookie year.
Absolutely.
You can feel it. Tell me how good that 8 car looked. I know. Well, I can tell you how good it looked in person, but Jesus, that 8 car was sexy.
that camel with the orange
number.
Yeah, that was bad.
Some iridescent 29 vibes.
Yeah.
And man, seeing him out, I Reddick can wheel it, but just seeing him making moves and get up there and lead, and I was like, hell yeah, that 8 car's fast, and he's showing how fast it is.
Yeah, it was cool to see the 8 getting pushed by the 88 too.
Yeah, that was badass too.
Yeah, at Talladega.
Heck yeah.
Yep, and then guys, the Penske train was running all day long. Joey, Brad, and Ryan Blaney, and even Matt Benedetto at times were running that train, and they were looking fast all day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Penske Mania did their best Hulkamania impression and ran wild all over. They could not be stopped. It's like even when they broke up, like they would wait for the car or two to get back in line, and then, all right, guys, go time. Let's get back to the front. There were a couple times like they lost Joey when he was the 3rd car back, and they found a way to get him back and just through the field. Like they made a couple nasty moves. I can't even remember who it was, but they had like a little gap, like the leader gapped out from the pusher, and like all 3 cars in unison like cut down below him to the low line. And then they took a train and went down and took the lead. It was like, man, it's like poetry in motion.
That was in 1 and 2. That was in 1 and 2.
Yes.
I want to say Brad was leading the train, and I think it was Hamlin they were catching, and they all just went right under him. And I mean, it was just accordion. They just hung Hamlin right out and blew his doors off. And it was like, how amazing does that look? I was doing filming for At the Line, and I was talking about Penske straight dominated the whole race, showing how strong they were. Matty D's right there in tow. And, I mean, they were flexing the whole freaking race.
Until Matty D decided to be a little scaredy cat and run in the back for the rest of the race. And that never was a factor the rest of the race.
If you were going to win the race, you were going to have to beat a Penske car.
Yeah. Well, which is kind of eerie when you think about the way Penske races amongst the teammates. Usually they're like, hey, we'll get to the front and let's all kill each other. It's kind of like the way they do things. So the fact they worked together that long and that well was really eye-opening.
Yeah. It's pretty cool to see Penske kind of becoming the plate racing team. You got Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, and Ryan Blaney, probably the 3 best plate racers in that.
Outside of Denny Hamlin, I think they're at least 3 of the top 5, no doubt about it.
Yesterday I was sitting there and I was like, dude, Denny Hamlin is becoming like the Pied Piper of speedway racing. He's there every clip, even in the finish. We'll get there in a minute, but you watch all the replays of races. Denny Hamlin's right there in 2nd or 3rd. Denny Hamlin's side by side winning. Denny Hamlin is becoming a huge super speedway dominant driver, along with Penske drivers.
And then Penske versus the field, man. That's pretty much how it goes.
Basically, well, yeah, I would say Fords because NASCAR is just dominated by Fords at this point.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
All right, guys, and then we have some unlikely teammates working together. Kyle Busch and Ricky Stenhouse seem to be drafting together the entire race, and we know that they don't really like each other that much, so that was pretty crazy to see them working together.
Well, hey, it just goes to show you don't got to be friends and like each other if you can help each other out in the racetrack. So,
hey,
I don't think they
we
were
don't
going
like each
together
other,
to
but
get
we're really
beers
good
later.
racers.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I don't think they were going out and getting beers after the race or anything like that, or swapping family pictures or anything. But hey, you know what? You get with the right guy at the right time, and it can work together. Why not?
Right.
Kyle Busch looked great yesterday. I mean, Dalton and Connor were sitting there counting him out. Oh, Talladega sucks, but like he was up front pretty much all the race until he had his troubles, and he still got back up there for a minute. And then Ricky Stenhouse, I was just waiting for him to spin somebody like he usually does. I was like, he will do good today if he does not, implode on himself. But, I mean, he was showing how fast that 47 car can be.
That's the thing. Ricky Stenhouse is a very good super speedway racer if he's not the one who's starting the big one, because usually he is the one to do that. But back to Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch was probably the best car all day. He was the best pusher. He was just making moves left and right. So really, unlike Kyle Busch, because that super speedways usually aren't his best racetrack, but Kyle looked very good all day long. I will give him that.
Oh, yeah. And then, guys, we had a pretty good save by Ryan Blaney, almost getting spun by Brad Keselowski. He had to saw the hell out of that wheel. You can just see him working it in his car, and man, he is one hell of a wheelman for saving that one.
Well, what I thought was crazy about it was then if you listen to his radio, he said, "Hey, tell the two I could take a bigger hit than that. Do not be afraid to push. It wasn't as bad as it looked." It's like, buddy, you were damn near sideways with your butt end up against the wall. Yeah, that was a full-on Tokyo drift.
Every time Keselowski came to Blaney's ass, it was just bam, just smacked him.
It looked like here's the big one. Here it goes. Like that instance where you're like, here we go. He pulled out. Dude, that car was dead ass sideways. Cuts it back and just keeps the momentum and takes the lead. It was insane. It was like, oh my god! And at that moment, I was like, dude, Blaney's wheeling it in this one. Like you can tell, he had his tongue out and wanted that win.
Oh yeah. All right, guys, and then we get 55 to go. We get Chase Elliott getting wrecked from Joey Logano, cutting him off on the outside lane, making Keselowski get into the back of Chase Elliott and ending his and Austin Dillon's day. So that sucked for the 9-3 crew, but hey, Joey gonna race how Joey races.
Super speedway racing. Someone's gonna get cut off, and that's how it starts.
You know, and it just like it comes back to that damn Joey Logano. I'm like, was he supposed to let the 9 pass him? The 2's pushing the 9. He gets a run, jumps out. 22 goes to go with it, and 9 gets turned. People are acting like 22 maliciously just turned the 9 with his rear bumper. It was a racing deal. That happens all the time. Yeah. But because it was Joey and Chase, it's a freaking huge thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have the luxury of watching it either from the stands or from our couches at home, and it looks slower than what these guys. I mean, those are snap decisions. Yeah, they have a spotter, but they still have to make the moves and time them and, do what the spotter says at the time that they're supposed to do it. So, again, he's trying to fill a lane that can make or break a race in a lot of ways. He loses that momentum, goes to the back of the pack with 50 to go. Lord knows if you can get back up to the front or not. So, yeah, I agree with you, Dakota. Like, what's he supposed to do? Just let him in, and it is what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Racing.
Yep, that's one of them racing deals. And then, guys, we get 28 to go. We get Bubba Wallace. He took the lead. He was looking fast all day. Dakota, what was the crowd reaction when Bubba took the lead?
Everybody that I could see around, even I got a video of me screaming my head off, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to film Bubba leading this mother effer. That everybody in there's got their hat and screaming, pumping their fists, yelling Bubba. You could see he kept trying for a while. He was trying to make the outside work, but the Penske cars were so strong, and finally they get separated, and Bubba goes to the front, and Joey pushes them by, and the whole place. And then I'm like, man, if this place was packed with people, it'd be freaking nuts right now. Just a little bit of people there, everybody's screaming that, Bubba's leading this thing, and we're getting down to the end too. Like, Bubba's got a shot.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, I was hoping for Ryan Blaney, Bubba Wallace, little shake and bake moment there at the end.
Yeah, that would have been sick. But, obviously we'll get to this in a moment. But fuel strategy kind of made a play into late of the race, which I really didn't see coming.
No.
But,
yeah, a lot of those guys in the back that were saving fuel. And then Ryan Blaney and all the other Penske boys, they just shot up to the front.
Yeah. Oh, when it was go time, they found each other and they went. You didn't have to worry about that. So
nope, they're like magnets on the track, man. You ain't gonna get them apart.
No, absolutely not.
And we got a caution on lap 187. Kevin Harvick spinning Jimmy Johnson, just trying to squeeze by him and Stenhouse. Just one of those racing deals. I really didn't see people complaining that much on Twitter because that's super speedway racing. Harvick's just trying to make moves.
Yeah,
can't be nice that late in the race, man.
I just can't believe it took us that long. The way those boys were racing, how we did not get a ginormous wreck, like really until we went into overtime, which we'll get to in a second. They did a good job out there. I really thought with some of the moves being made at the end, like, oh, here we go. This is gonna be the wreck. Nope, this is gonna do it.
Yeah, but we didn't get even the big one. It was like, if anything, we got like 5 or 6 cars in the biggest wreck.
I'm sure there's moments that weren't even on TV that were like, holy crap. I mean, earlier in the race, Kevin almost dumped Jimmy head on in the wall going into one. I don't know what was on TV night, but I know there's things I saw that I was like, they probably didn't get that on film. But, I mean, there were so many moments in the pack where dudes checked up, got bobbled, and it was like, how have they not wrecked yet? But you could tell coming down in there, Kevin pulls out, and Johnson was late on the reaction. Kevin pulls out to go inside, and Johnson comes across, and it was just a straight racing deal when Johnson got spun. That could have been Johnson could have came back into the field and been the big one there, but somehow we had these single car spins.
Yeah, right. Pretty rare for Talladega, to be honest.
Yeah, it was like those last 20 laps. You're just sitting there, you feel it. You're like, okay,
we're just waiting for it to happen. When's it coming?
Yeah.
Yep. And then we had Kevin Harvick taking the white flag in the lead. Dakota, what were your emotions going through?
I was like a little kid in a candy store, dude. I try to control myself, but we laid in the back all day. Kevin's making moves, slicing, dicing. The 4 car is still rolling. And
rare for Talladega.
Kevin power moves and gets to the front and comes down. And 17's behind him, taking the white. I'm running back and forth in the stands, screaming. My heart is pounding like I'm watching my own kid race or something. I was screaming up and down. Oh! But then when we got way out far, I was like, come on, somebody wreck or something. Somebody wreck. And Blaney, you saw Blaney coming with a head of steam when he pulled out. And I was like, oh, God, here we go. And then
you got that push from Stenhouse.
Kevin had nowhere to go, dude. Blaney blew his doors off. Stenhouse came up, dived under him, and we were done.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was an exciting ending. Like I said, Blaney got that crazy push from Stenhouse. And then we had Truex and DiBenedetto wrecking in the back there. That kind of caused the big one there.
That's what you get for staying in the back all day.
The medium one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the medium one. Yeah,
the mild buffalo.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know what? Yeah, I like that. Mild buffalo. And then we had Blaney blocking Stenhouse and Jones coming to the line. Jones and Nemechek, they go 3 wide with Blaney. Jones gets pushed into the wall, and Almirola gets spun by Stenhouse. But Almirola finished 3rd coming across that line. Oh, my God, that was insane. That was a Ricky Bobby finish right there. And then Blaney beats Stenhouse by 7 1/1000ths of a second, the same margin of victory when he beat Ryan Newman last fall. Absolutely insane. Just call him Blaney 007.
Yep, change your name to James Bond already, buddy. Wear a tuxedo to every race. No, but got really dicey right at the line there, coming to where the start finish was. Guys coming together, Blaney trying to block, guys trying to get to the outside line. Got to do what you got to do to win a race there. It's rather be the hitter than the hittee. So
right.
I got no problem with the race when there were a lot of people kind of complaining about, he dumped Jones. Like if Jones was in the middle position, he'd be doing the exact same thing. You do what you got to do.
Exactly. It's wreckers or checkers at that point.
I mean, the first initial, when it happened, I thought Stenhouse won that thing. The angle that the TV had it on, I was like, wow, Ricky Stenhouse really just went out and won this thing out. But no, that's awesome for Blaney. The dude was due for a win. How many wins have he gotten screwed out of this season? And now he's finally got that win. Finally got the monkey off his back with him and Todd Gordon. They got their win, and I only expect him to be better from here, man. And he's really turned into one of the better super speedway racers. I mean, he had a shot to win Daytona. He won Talladega last year. He's just turned into one of those guys you can always expect to see at the front of a super speedway race.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Dude, Eric Jones almost won this race. John Hunter Nemechek almost won the race. Eric Almirola almost won the race. Ricky Stenhouse almost won the race. They were almost 5 wide. John Hunter Nemechek came from like 13th at the white. Coming out, Jones is dicing like a madman. Blaney's got his elbows up, elbowing everybody in the freaking mouth. And Jones goes outside. Blaney pushes him up. John Hunter goes outside him, so when Jones hits him, he's out. Eric Almirola dives under Blaney. Stenhouse turns. What I don't get is how Stenhouse turns Eric Almirola, or Eric Almirola turns himself, and Stenhouse still has the momentum to come up and another foot.
Slow down at all.
Another foot. He just kept on moving.
Another foot, and he won the race. Like if the line was just another foot, like because he was getting there, Blaney wins, and then Stenhouse passes him. And just watch it. We were right on the start finish line. I had the sickest seats, and just seeing all that calamity and craziness was like, holy crap! We saw Blaney won, but it was so insane.
It's what makes Talladega so unique is where the start finish line is. If this race was, if the start finish line's in the tri-oval, I think Eric Jones is your winner. What? Nope. Just you got to go an extra 1,000 feet to get to the start finish line. And Ryan Blaney comes out on top.
Now, Dakota, in the stands, could you tell Blaney won with the naked eye? Because like you guys said, watching on TV, I thought, just like at the end of stage 2, Stenhouse snaked him for the win there. I thought he just got him.
I could see Blaney. I mean, like literally, we were in the towers on the start-finish line. Like I'm looking dead at it, and it was awesome seats. But like we could tell, but I could when I watch clips on the internet and stuff with like that back angle and even the front angle. It's kind of misleading. Like, holy crap, it looks like Stenhouse just won. And then it looks like Eric Almirola won. But when they do that side-by-side, that slow-mo cam, you see it. But we saw, like, Blaney wheeling and dealing, and we could tell Blaney just won it.
Right.
Yeah, making for his 4th career Cup Series win. Absolutely incredible.
Absolutely incredible. And Mike did not make it to work the next day.
Attaboy.
You deserved it.
Did you pre-order that diecast yet?
First thing I did when I woke up, buddy.
Attaboy.
Nice.
Oh,
That's what I like to hear.
Heck yeah.
All right, guys. So I think that will do it for our Talladega review. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Ian Jortson.
I'm Mike Gamble.
And I'm Nick Hinsel.
And I'm Dakota Rutledge.
Guys, make sure to check out our buddy Dakota on Twitter and Instagram. You can check out his YouTube channel, At The Line. He posts some amazing content. Make sure to subscribe and like his content. And he also streams racing on Twitch as well. So whenever he goes out racing, make sure to check him out.
Hey.
And then you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram as well. And make sure to follow our buddy Patrick Cotto with the Cotto's Mojo podcast on all podcast platforms. And last but not least, our friends at Ashland Heddens Racing. They should be racing this upcoming weekend. So that'll do it for the Stock Car Spectacle, guys. Enjoy the week.